Imagine standing at the edge of something so massive, so impossibly huge, that our entire solar system, every planet, every moon, the sun itself, could fall inside and never touch the walls. And you still wouldn't be anywhere close to understanding how big it really is. Quick question before we dive in. Where are you watching this from right now? Drop your country, your city in the comments. I'm genuinely curious how far across the world this story is going to travel. But here's what I need you to understand. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you something that scientists believe shouldn't even exist. Something that breaks every rule we thought we understood about the universe. And when you finally see the numbers, you might not even believe they're real. So stick with me, because what we're about to explore isn't just big, it's impossible. Let's go back to 1957, Mexico, a small observatory called Tonantzintla, where a group of astronomers are doing routine sky surveys, cataloging objects, taking photographs of distant starlight. And one night, they record something, just a tiny blue dot, faint, unremarkable. They log it as TON 618 and move on. For years, nobody thinks twice about it. But then, someone takes a closer look. They point a spectroscope at it, a tool that breaks light into its components, like a prism revealing a rainbow. And what they see doesn't make sense. This isn't a star. It's something far, far stranger. The light is redshifted, massively, which means this object isn't just distant, it's moving away from us at incredible speed. It's so far away that the light we're seeing today left that object when the universe was barely 2 billion years old. When dinosaurs roamed Earth, this light was already billions of years into its journey. When the first humans appeared, still traveling. When you were born, still coming. And now, finally, it's here. But what is it? Here's where things get wild. TON 618 isn't a star. It's not even a galaxy. Well, technically, it is part of a galaxy, but that's not what we're seeing. What we're seeing is something called a quasar. And quasars are among the most violent, powerful, and straight-up terrifying things in the entire universe. Picture this. At the center of a young galaxy, billions of years ago, there's a black hole, a supermassive black hole, and it's feeding. Not like you and I eat. This thing is devouring stars, entire clouds of gas and dust. Everything around it is being pulled inward by gravity so intense that nothing, not even light, can escape once it crosses a certain boundary. But before that matter falls in, something incredible happens. It forms what's called an accretion disk, a swirling spiral of doomed matter, spinning faster and faster as it approaches the black hole. And as it spins, it heats up. We're talking temperatures of millions of degrees. The friction, the collisions, the sheer violence of it all creates energy. So much energy that this disk doesn't just glow, it screams across the universe. It blazes in every wavelength, radio waves, visible light, X-rays, gamma rays. This thing is radiating more energy than entire galaxies full of hundreds of billions of stars. And TON 618, it's one of the brightest quasars we've ever found. If you could somehow measure its energy output, you'd find it equals the light of 100 trillion suns shining at once. Let that sink in for a second. 100 trillion suns. If we replaced the center of our Milky Way galaxy with TON 618, it would outshine every single star we can see in the night sky. In fact, it would be so bright that it would be visible during the day. It would glow in our sky 23 times brighter than the full moon. There would be no more night, just endless blazing light. Our entire concept of a starry sky would vanish forever. But even that isn't the craziest part. Because what's creating all of this, the light, the jets of plasma shooting out millions of light years in both directions, the energy reshaping galaxies, is the black hole itself. And when scientists finally calculated the mass of the black hole at the center of TON 618, they had to check their math multiple times, because the number was so big, it didn't seem possible. The black hole at the heart of TON 618? has a mass of 66 billion suns. 66 billion. Let me give you some context. The black hole at the center of our galaxy, Sagittarius A star, weighs about 4 million solar masses. It's huge, it's powerful, it's the dominant force in our entire galactic neighborhood. TON 618 is 16,000 times heavier. It's not just bigger, it's in a completely different category of existence. Here's where it gets even harder to wrap your mind around. Every black hole has what's called an event horizon. That's the point of no return, the boundary where gravity becomes so strong that if you cross it, you're gone, forever. Not even light can escape. For a black hole the size of Sagittarius A star, that boundary is about 24 million kilometers across. Big, right? TON 618's event horizon is 400 billion kilometers wide. Let me put that in perspective. The distance from the Sun to Pluto, the edge of our solar system, is about 6 billion kilometers. You could fit our entire solar system inside TON 618's event horizon. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, the Kuiper Belt, all the asteroids, all the comets, everything could fall inside and there would still be space left over. If you were somehow standing at the edge of that event horizon, which, let's be clear, you couldn't because you'd be ripped apart by tidal forces long before, you would see a sphere of absolute darkness so large it would fill your entire field of vision. Not like looking at a planet, not like standing on one side of Earth and seeing the horizon, like being an ant next to a mountain, except the mountain is made of nothing, just a hole in space where reality ends. And the closer you got, the weirder things would become. Light would bend around it. You'd see multiple distorted images of the same stars, warped and twisted by the gravitational field. Colors would shift. Blue light would redshift into crimson, then fade into infrared and disappear entirely. Time itself would slow down. If you hovered just outside the event horizon and your friend stayed far away in normal space, you could wave at them, but to them, you'd appear frozen, moving in extreme slow motion. 1 second for you could be years, centuries for them. You'd be trapped at the edge of eternity, watching the universe age around you and fast forward. And if you crossed the line, you'd fall toward the singularity at the center, a point where all that mass is compressed into infinite density, where space-time curves infinitely, where the laws of physics as we know them completely break down. We don't know what happens there. Our equations stop working. General relativity says singularity, and quantum mechanics says, I don't know. And honestly, neither do we. But here's the thing that really keeps scientists up at night. TON 618 existed when the universe was only about 2 billion years old. That's early, like cosmically early. The Big Bang happened 13.8 billion years ago, and TON 618 was already 66 billion solar masses just 2 billion years later. How? Black holes grow by consuming matter, stars, gas, other black holes. But there's a limit to how fast they can eat, because as they feed, they release energy that pushes matter away. It's called the Eddington limit. Even if TON 618 started as one of the very first black holes, a seed black hole from the collapse of the first massive stars, it shouldn't have been able to grow that big that fast. The math doesn't work. Unless something we don't understand was happening in the early universe. Unless the conditions back then were so extreme, so different from today, that black holes could grow in ways we haven't predicted. Or unless TON 618 started as something already massive, some kind of direct collapse scenario that doesn't fit our models. Either way, it shouldn't exist. But it does. So why does this matter? Why should you care about a black hole that's 18 billion light years away, so distant that it might as well be in another universe?
because TON 618 is a window. When we look at it, we're not seeing it as it is today. We're seeing it as it was billions of years ago, when the universe was young and wild and still figuring out what it was going to become. That light has been traveling toward us through space for eons, and as it traveled, it passed through clouds of gas, through the space between galaxies, through the cosmic web of matter that connects everything. By studying that light, how it's been absorbed, scattered, bent, we can learn about the early universe. We can measure what the cosmos was made of back then. We can trace how galaxies formed, how structure emerged from chaos. TON 618 isn't just a monster, it's a messenger. And here's the thing that gets me. We're standing here on this tiny planet, in this quiet corner of an average galaxy, looking out into the void with our telescopes and our equations and our curiosity. And we found this. We found something so massive, so powerful, so incomprehensibly large that it challenges everything we thought we knew. And instead of looking away, instead of saying, "That's impossible, let's ignore it," we leaned in, we studied it, we tried to understand it. Because that's what we do. We're humans. We see the impossible, and we ask why. So let me bring you back to where we started. I told you that by the end of this video, you'd see something that scientists believe shouldn't exist, something that breaks the rules. TON 618 is that thing. A black hole so massive it defies our models of growth, so bright it outshines galaxies, so large that our entire solar system is a rounding error. It exists in a place so far away and so long ago that the light we see left when the universe was an infant. And yet, here we are, seeing it, understanding it, or at least trying to. That's the real story. Not just that TON 618 is big, but that we're small, and we figured it out anyway. If this blew your mind even half as much as it blew mine, do me a favor, share this with someone who loves space or someone who needs a reminder of how incredible the universe really is. And hey, I'm curious, what part of this story hit you the hardest? Was it the size, the physics, the idea that we can see billions of years into the past? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and remember, somewhere out there, 18 billion light years away, there's a black hole that's still shining, still defying explanation, still reminding us that the universe is so much stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined.